Welcome back to the consolidation activity. Here's problem number one. It says Jacob solved 4 different inequalities, but he is not sure whether he solved them correctly. In fact, sometimes he makes more than one mistake when solving. Jacob's work is shown below. Decide whether Jacob solved each inequality correctly. If not, find the mistakes and explain what Jacob did wrong. Then solve the inequality correctly. Okay, so we have 3x plus 6 is greater than or equal to, is greater than 8. So the first step he should do is, in this curriculum, I normally just subtract 6 on here, but they like to add a negative 6, okay? Adding negative 6 is the same thing as subtracting 6, okay? So they're adding a negative 6 to both sides. Okay, so this is going to cancel. And on this side, they have 8 plus negative 6, which is 2. Okay, because it's canceled, we bring down the 3x. Now, I see the mistake. Do you guys see the mistake that he made? He unnecessarily changed the symbol. Okay, the only time you change the symbol is when you multiply or divide by a negative number. And we did not do that here. We added a negative number, but we did not multiply or divide a negative number. So that's the first mistake right there. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in. He changed the symbol when he added a negative. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. From here, our next step should be to divide by 3. So he divided by 3, divided by 3. That's okay. That looks good. And then 3x divided by 3 is just x, and 2 divided by 3 is 2/3. So that's the only mistake he made. So on this side, they want us to work out the problem. So I'm going to go ahead and write out the problem here. So we've got 3x plus 8, or plus 6 is greater than 8. First step is to subtract 6 on both sides. And we end up with 3x. This will cancel, is greater than 8 minus 6 is 2. Our next step is to divide by 3. And we end up with x is greater than 2/3. Okay, there is no need to change the sign whatsoever. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the next problem here. So we have 2x plus 1 is greater than or equal to x minus 2. Be thinking of that first step. Okay, I like to look at the variables first and then move the smaller one. The smaller one would be x. So how do we get rid of x? Well, we subtract an x. So they did that here. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and this is what we're doing. We're subtracting x on both sides. So 2x minus x, that is 1x, that's true. Plus 1 is greater than or equal to x minus x, that cancels, negative 2. Okay, 1x, 1 times x is just x, plus 1. And the next step that they're doing here is they're subtracting 1. Okay, so they're subtracting 1 on both sides, right there. So 1 minus 1, well, that's 0 or nothing. So x plus 0 is x is greater than or equal to -2 and -1. That does make a -3. Okay, and this is correct. So let's just go ahead and type that out. And because they did it correct, we don't have to do it correctly over here. Let's take a look at letter C. Actually, you know what? Let's skip down to letter D. Let's do the harder one. All right, we have 5x plus 5 is greater than 10x plus 30. Remember, you should be looking at, let's see, what did they do? 5x, they divided by 5. Wow, this looks all wrong here. I'm trying to pinpoint exactly what they did wrong here. They just started dividing things. Okay, this is not right at all. Let's just go ahead and work out the problem on our own. So we've got 5x plus 5 is greater than 10x plus 30. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. Just like our last problem, we should be looking at the variables. Okay, I have a 5x here and a 10x. And we're going to move the smaller one. Okay, so this one here, the 5x is smaller. So to get rid of this 5x on this side, I need to subtract 5x. And I'm going to put the subtract 5x under the 10x. Okay, just to line that up, makes it look a little nicer. And that's so I can add or combine like terms. I wouldn't write it underneath the 30 because the 30 doesn't have an x. Okay, so 5x minus 5x, that's nothing. Nothing plus 5 is 5. Then we have 10x minus 5x, which is 5x, plus 30. Okay, we should be thinking of the next step here, which would be to subtract 30 on both sides. So 5 minus 30, that's going to be a negative 25. And then I have 5x. Notice I did not change any of the signs, okay? All I did was subtract 30. I didn't multiply or divide by a negative, okay? I have not done that whatsoever, so I don't change the sign. So now I have negative 25 is greater than 5x. Be thinking of the next step. The next step is to divide by 5. And negative 25 divided by 5 is negative 5. Is greater than 5 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times x is x. Okay, notice I did not divide by a negative, so we don't change that sign. We ended up with a negative answer, but because we didn't multiply or divide by a negative, the symbol will stay the same. All right, let's take a look at number 2. It says, on your whiteboard, create your own inequality. Exchange your whiteboard with your partner and solve the problem your partner created. When both you and your partner are finished, discuss your solution. So I'm just going to put a simple problem up here. Let's go with negative 2x plus 4 is greater than 20. Okay, my first step should be to subtract 4 on both sides. And end up with negative 2x. Positive 4, negative 4 cancels. 20 minus 4 is 16. And my next step would be to divide by negative 2. I'm getting quite a bit of a delay here. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. 1 times x is x. And 16 divided by negative 2 is negative 8. Do you guys notice I made a mistake? Okay, remember when you divide by a negative, what do you have to do? Got to change the sign. Okay, so we're going to flip it this way and negative 8. All right, that concludes topic 18, lesson 3. Here are your homework pages. Okay, and we'll see you next time.